In the heart of a grand mansion, beneath the polished floors and opulent chandeliers, lies a secret so powerful it could tear apart the life of its owners. Emily, a loyal maid to one of the wealthiest families in the city, is about to uncover a truth that will change everything. Emily is cleaning in the library. She dusts off a row of old books and notices something odd behind one of them. A letter sealed with wax. Curiosity piques as she carefully pulls it out, her hands shaking as she examines it. Emily, whispering to herself, "What is this? Why would a letter be hidden here?" She opens the letter slowly, reading the contents. Her face changes as she reads the shocking revelation. What she finds is a confession, a family secret so dark that it could destroy everything. The letter reveals that the family's patriarch, Mr. Harrison, was not only involved in a massive embezzlement scheme, but also responsible for the tragic disappearance of his first wife, a crime he had hidden for decades. Emily walks nervously around the mansion. Her mind races. She's conflicted, her loyalty to the family battling with the need for justice. She stares at the letter, torn. If I tell them, I could lose everything. But if I stay silent, how many others will suffer because of his lies? She approaches the family's living room, where Mrs. Harrison, the current matriarch, is seated with her two children, Sarah and William. Mrs. Harrison, smiling, oblivious. "Emily, dear, you've been working so hard. Come, take a break. You deserve it." Emily forces a smile, but she's clearly distracted. She sits, glancing at the family. Sarah, teasingly, "Emily, what's going on? You seem off today." Emily looks at the family, a deep sense of guilt washing over her. "But nothing," David says, his voice rising slightly. "You're not just serving food here. You're representing this restaurant, its values, and how we treat everyone who walks through that door. Tell me, Kevin, what values do you think this behavior reflects?" Kevin's face pales. He glances around, realizing the entire room is watching him. His shoulders sag slightly as he struggles to respond. I understand, sir," Kevin mutters, his tone subdued. David isn't done yet. He pulls a sleek business card from his pocket and hands it to Kevin. "Perhaps this will help you understand who you're talking to." Kevin takes the card reluctantly and glances at it. His eyes widen in shock as he reads aloud, "David Miller, CEO?" David nods, his expression calm but commanding. "That's right. I'm the new owner of this restaurant chain. And as far as I'm concerned, this establishment isn't worth the chandeliers on the ceiling if it can't show compassion when it's needed most." The room falls silent. Even the faint clinking of cutlery stops as every eye is fixed on David and Kevin. Emma's gaze shifts between the two men, her emotions a mix of disbelief and gratitude. Kevin's voice is barely a whisper. I'm so sorry, Mr. Miller. I didn't realize." David holds up a hand to stop him. "Sorry doesn't cut it, Kevin. Actions do. Now I'm going to give you one chance to make this right. Take this lady to the best table in the house and do so with the respect every guest deserves. Do I make myself clear?" Kevin nods quickly, his face flushed with embarrassment. He gestures toward a table near the fireplace, his tone more polite than before. "Right this way, ma'am," Kevin says, his voice shaking slightly. Emma hesitates, glancing at David. He gives her a reassuring nod and a warm smile. "Go ahead, Emma. You deserve this." As Emma follows Kevin to the table, the tension in the room begins to ease. The diners exchange looks, some even clapping softly in approval of David's actions. Emma sits down at the beautifully set table, her hands trembling slightly as she takes it all in. David turns back to the diners, addressing them with a confident smile. "Now that we've settled this matter, I hope you're all enjoying your evening. Remember, kindness isn't just for special occasions. It's for every day." The diners nod and smile, some even raising their glasses in agreement. David walks over to Emma's table and sits across from her, the warmth in his eyes putting her at ease. David leans in slightly and says softly, "Let's make tonight a night you'll never forget." Emma is seated at a cozy table near the fireplace. The other diners steal curious glances at her, but she's too overwhelmed to notice. The staff, now scrambling to impress, serve her a lavish 3-course meal. Emma takes a bite of the creamy soup placed in front of her. It's the first warm meal she's had in weeks. Tears stream down her face as she whispers, "Thank you." David sits across from her, watching her with a kind smile. "You don't have to thank me. Everyone deserves kindness, no matter their circumstances." Emma wipes her tears. "People like you are rare. Most don't even look at me." David leans forward. "Sometimes all it takes is one act of kindness to change everything. And maybe one day you'll get the chance to do the same for someone else." The restaurant is quieter now, with most diners having left. Emma is finishing her dessert, her cheeks still flushed with gratitude. Kevin approaches their table hesitantly, his hands clasped in front of him. Gone is the stern-faced arrogance. He now looks unsure and remorseful. She had spent her entire life hiding in the shadows, never questioning her place in the world. But now, the shadows no longer felt safe. They felt suffocating, trapping her between loyalty and justice. What if exposing the truth meant losing everything she had? Could she bear the consequences of destroying a family she had served for so long? And yet, what was the cost of silence? Emily's thoughts flicker back to the letter. She opens it again, reading the words one last time, as if hoping they'll change, as if the truth could suddenly become something else, something she could ignore. She presses her hand to her forehead, tears welling up in her eyes. She's not just frightened by the truth. She's disgusted by her own complicity in the lie. Her breath is shallow now as she struggles to calm her racing heart. Emily, whispering to herself, "I can't pretend I didn't see it. I can't keep lying to myself. This isn't just about them. It's about what's right, what I have to do." She stands up straight, a newfound determination settling in her eyes. The tears dry on her face, replaced by a cold resolve. She knows what she has to do. "Emily," voice steady, "no more. I won't stay silent." She walks over to her dresser, opening the drawer and placing the letter inside. She locks it with a click, but the weight of her decision remains heavy on her shoulders. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself for what's to come. The next morning, Emily decides to confront Mr. Harrison. She finds him in his study, overlooking financial reports. His back is turned, and she hesitates before speaking. Emily, tentatively, "Mr. Harrison, I need to speak with you. It's about the letter I found." He turns slowly, a faint smile on his lips as if he's been expecting this moment. Mr. Harrison, calmly, "I see. You found it. I've been waiting for you to come forward, Emily." Emily freezes in shock. Her voice falters. Emily, shocked. You knew? You knew I would find it?" Mr. Harrison, sighing. "I knew eventually someone would. But Emily, you don't understand what you're dealing with. The truth is dangerous. It could destroy everything, including you." The tension builds as Emily struggles with her decision. Mr. Harrison's words echo in her mind, warning her about the consequences of exposing the truth. Emily, with determination, "I don't care. The world deserves to know what you've done. Your family has built an empire on lies, and I won't let it stand any longer." Mr. Harrison stands, moving towards her with a cold, calculating smile. "Mr. Harrison," menacingly, "you think the truth will set you free? You're wrong. It will ruin everything. Your life, your future. Don't do this, Emily. You have no idea the power you're up against." Emily clenches her fists, taking a step back. The tension in the study is thick, almost suffocating. Emily stands near the desk, gripping the letter, her heart racing. Mr. Harrison stands across from her, his eyes cold and calculating. The moment of truth had arrived. Emily held the secret that could destroy this family. She knew there was no turning back now. Emily, steadily. I know what you've done, Mr. Harrison. The letter proves everything. Your involvement in the embezzlement and your wife's disappearance. The truth is out. Mr. Harrison takes a step closer, his voice low and threatening. Mr. Harrison, menacingly. You think you can just expose me? You have no idea what you're risking. The world will see you as a traitor. You'll lose everything. Emily doesn't back down. Her voice is calm but firm. Emily, resolutely. I'm not afraid of the consequences. The truth is more important than your legacy of lies. It ends today. Mr. Harrison's expression shifts from anger to disbelief as he realizes Emily won't be swayed. He takes a step back, trying to regain control, but it's too late. Mr. Harrison, quietly, a final warning. You have no idea what you're unleashing, Emily. Emily picks up the phone, her fingers steady as she dials the news station. Emily, into the phone, determined. I have information about a major scandal involving one of the wealthiest families in the city. I need to speak with someone immediately. As she hangs up the phone, she looks at Mr. Harrison one last time, her resolve unshaken. The storm she's about to unleash is unstoppable. Emily had made her choice. She chose truth over fear, justice over loyalty. And nothing could change that now. The next day, news outlets are all over the story. The mansion is surrounded by reporters, and the Harrison family's once pristine image is shattered. Emily watches from a distance, knowing she did the right thing, even if it cost her everything. Emily's courage changed the course of a family's legacy forever. The mansion, once a symbol of wealth and power, now stands as a reminder of the price of truth. As for Emily, she may have lost her place in the Harrison household, but she gained something far more valuable. Peace of mind. Sometimes, the hardest thing is to stand up for what's right. But in the end, it's the only thing that truly matters.